So, hi there. I'm here with Rising Tide, and we just finished a community dinner and a presentation on fracking and the Pacific Trail Pipeline in Smithers, BC. And the Pacific Trail Pipeline passes through this region. So there's actually a spring work camp going on in Unist'ot'en territory where people have come and are building pit houses and a permaculture garden along the route of the Pacific Trails pipeline. And we're here with someone who we've met at the spring work camp who was also involved in the tar sands blockade down in Texas. So I'm going to begin by asking you, what brought you up here?
So what actually brought me up here is there was an email sent, and you said that it was maybe from you, but then I also talked to Tagastai, and I guess he sent an email too, so I don't know which one I saw. But there was an email, I guess, that went to the tar sands group asking for folks to come up here and either come to the spring camp or to the action camp, and I got word that request had been made, and there were some people kind of being iffy about it. I was like, that sounds really cool, and I have some agriculture and permaculture experience, and I've been looking to get closer to the site of extraction in the Alberta tar sands, because after working with Keystone XL, it's like, yeah, I really hate TransCanada, like, yeah, and that's people putting in the Keystone XL. Yeah, sure, like they're terrible, but like what it really became about to me is like it's tar sands itself and the extraction, like through Suncor and other companies mining it up here, and that's like I really wanted to get at that issue, right? Like rather than like cutting off like the like legs, actually going straight for the heart, straight for the brain, to use like I don't know, that type of metaphor, but yeah, so I just heard that they wanted people to come up here, and Indigenous solidarity is something that like I feel like gets ignored a lot, and it's something that Great Plains Tar Sands Resistance, which is a new group that kind of has a lot of influence from tar sands blockade and from other anti-extraction movements. They've been working with a lot of Indigenous tribes in both Oklahoma and in South Dakota, and it's just been an inspiration. And so I said, yeah, like let's go up there, let's do it.
Right on. I guess building on that, based on your experiences down there, up here, hearing about what's happening in Oklahoma, what are some of the main differences you've seen amongst the different movements and regional resistances against the tar sands?
So in Texas, unfortunately, the struggle has to be, or I don't want to say has to be, but is focused around like property rights, and this is like settler property rights. This is this is my house, you're going in my backyard, which is important to like not have pipelines running by schools and running under people's front doors, and this is all happening out there. And so then out here it's obviously focused not on preserving my home, like my physical like building, but like my home, like the earth, like my home, like these unceded territories, rather than like, oh, like I'm protecting myself. It's like I'm protecting the earth, I'm protecting the future, I'm protecting my children, and on into 7 generations, protecting and thinking about them for the future. I think that's the main difference that I see, and like also part of the draw of why I came up here.
And so, based on some of those things that you've learned, are there any things that you'd be taking with you once you leave?
I mean, just keeping in mind, like, it's just hard to know because in that area, it's like it's been so conquered by settlers that like. And the Indigenous people have been pushed so far to reservations. It's like we're having trouble at tar sands blockade, like connecting with. I mean, I actually shouldn't say that because I wasn't doing that work, but I felt like that. I felt like there was like trouble actually connecting with Indigenous people there. And I'm really glad to see like movements like this and movements like what Great Plains Tar Sands Resistance is doing, where they actually are connecting with those movements and those people who are, you know, still living in ways that aren't destroying the earth, you know, and so these destructive practices like are direct threats to them, and they're kind of like should be leading this, and they have been for, you know, hundreds of years, for 500 years they've been doing this. So.
Thanks so much for talking with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to hear from the tar sands blockaders or some of the folks who have been involved in that. And again, amazing work being done here, amazing work being done there, and it's really nice being able to talk with someone who said that they've been drawing inspiration from what's been happening in northern BC, in solidarity with them, and we've definitely been looking at the tar sands blockaders and been like, wow, they are doing some really amazing work.
Yay, we're all friends.
Woo!